Good morning, everyone. Good morning and welcome, warm and heartfelt welcome to the dedication of the North Adams Armory site. It is a remembrance in perpetuity to our native son, our local hero, Specialist Michael R. demarisco II. Because it's so cold, I will forego formal introductions of our dignitaries and speakers, and I'm hoping they'll understand. And if they don't, well, let them know they need to understand. With that, a very special welcome to our honored guests, and I want to thank all of our elected and our newly elected officials who are here today, and to the demarisco family, to Lisa, to Mike, Kaylee, Leah, and Adam, welcome. Welcome to this ceremony, and thank you. Before we continue, Aubrey, I'm sorry, I didn't say Aubrey. Aubrey, there's Aubrey. Before we continue, I want to take time to thank so many who made this possible. I'm going to run this. It will be an auctioneer's list, but this is what we're going to do. All of our speakers here today: Secretary Francisco Urena, Department of Veterans Services, Drury High School Band, our North Adams Police Color Guard, our Mass State Police, Mass College of Liberal Arts for our sound system, Specialty Minerals for the donation of this beautiful stone we will be unveiling, Deborah Himes of Randall Trophies for the plaque on the stone, Dave Chappella, Berkshire Monuments, for setting the stone, or setting the plaque, our good friends at Beck's Printing for our programs, Sarah and John Valyers and Boy Scout Troop 1088, our Girl Scouts who are here today, Stephen Roy, our Veteran Services Officer, our city's DPW and our building department, all of our public safety folks here today, our fire, our EMTs, and our police, Mike Newvale, our Community Development Director, who over the past 10 years has overseen the renovation of this building, and a very special thank you to Larissa Bernstein, our city planner, who is truly responsible for planning this event. And again, finally, to the demariscos, it is your love and your courage that brings us here today. It was a little over 5 years ago the demarisco family in this community received the news of Michael's untimely and tragic death while serving his country and his fellow soldiers in Afghanistan as point man searching for improvised explosive devices. Demar, as he was affectionately known by his combat brothers and as he is widely known today in our community, made the ultimate sacrifice, and today we honor his memory and his legacy with this dedication. I'd now like to invite up from the First Baptist Church our good pastor Dave Anderson for his words and an opening prayer.
Ours is a country of remembering, of bringing honor to those who deserve our respect. We are a country of heroes, a nation of courage, honor, and service. We are a people built on sacred things, founded on values and acts of strength and valor. And we are a people held together by things bigger than we as individuals. We are and always should be a nation of reflecting and giving thanks. From Washington, D.C., our capital, to every city and town around our country, the names of those we hope to honor have been permanently affixed in the public square. Monuments are erected to help us forever remember the heroes among us who served and sacrificed with honor. It is for that reason that we gather here today. I stand here humbled by the opportunity to speak of a young man who accepted a call that was not mine, who entered a journey I will never understand, who endured challenges I could not possibly accomplish, to travel to a place that is completely foreign to me. I stand here humbled today to speak of one I consider a hero. Without question, the greatest honor of my life was to speak on behalf of Michael demarisco when he returned home. I was honored to stand before the hundreds gathered on that day in August as we endeavored to share in our grief and elevate one who paid the ultimate sacrifice for our country. I have been blessed to come to know his family, a family I have the utmost respect and admiration and affection for. Would you please join me in a word of prayer? Almighty God, as we come together at this now sacred place to express gratitude and to pay respect to one of this community's true heroes, we ask that your blessing be upon us. We gather today to give thanks for his life, to remember his story, to reflect upon his accomplishments, and to cherish the name of Michael demarisco. his name that will forever be held in honor in this place. Bless all who have the honor to stand before this crowd assembled as we all bring words of respect and admiration. Watch over us all as we surround the family of Michael demarisco, and as we together as a community establish this permanent reminder, this monument that will forever carry his name. We give you thanks for the blessings of this day and all that it represents. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Dave. Please stay standing if you would, here in the front. If we could, let's look over at our new flagpole as our Boy Scout Troop 1088, under leadership of John Valyers, will present our new flag on this site, one that flag I don't think has been raised here in many years. John, Scouts.
Breathe, man. Arms.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And now our Girl Scouts will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, relax. Okay, please see. Thank you. I would like to invite up now Melanie Rancourt, who will speak on behalf of the family. Melanie was one of Michael's teachers at Drury High School. Melanie?
Thank you, Mayor Alkenbright, the demarisco family, members of our military, honored guests, and the city's citizens of North Adams. Happy Veterans Day. It is an honor for me to speak to you today. I was asked a few weeks ago by my dear friend Lisa to tell everyone how I knew Michael. I never knew him as Demar. However, I could talk to you for hours about how I knew a young man and a student of mine named Michael demarisco. I would not be standing here in front of you today if it wasn't for the confidence my mentors at Drury High School had in me. I graduated from MCLA, and I was determined to be the best history teacher I could be. I was hired and began my career as a permanent sub. Within a few years, the administration asked me to pilot a unique program. I am proud to say, and I know this to be a fact, that I'm proud to say that the North Adams Public Schools was the first district in Berkshire County to adopt an online program. I was asked to build this program, so I did. The third year of Positive Options, that's what the program was called, was one of the best years of my teaching career because that is when I met Michael. Now you may ask what Positive Options was. I will tell you. I was lucky enough to bring a group of seniors to the campus of Berkshire Community College every day for 5 years to a classroom that we called home. We were given computers where students completed online work, a fitness center where they gained their PE credits, and we developed internships on campus that mirrored students' interests. And students were even able to take a college class if I thought that they were ready to complete one. Looking back, Michael completed all these requirements with determination and energy. In the classroom, however, he was sometimes reluctant to complete his online work because I would catch him watching football highlights on YouTube. When I did, he would give me that signature smile and he would get back to work. He took a college fitness class because, as he said to me, I have to get ready for my future training and any college credit will help me rank up. He was the campus security guard intern that year. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, when Michael came to school in his nicely ironed blue uniform and black coat, college girls would take a second look. As a protective teacher, I would keep a watchful eye, but nothing would keep him from performing his job with the utmost dignity and respect for himself, his school, and the students on campus. Now, when you are a senior in high school, you sometimes stretch the limits. So when I knew that he was not back to work on time after lunch, I would walk across the quad to the cafeteria, and I would see Michael with a group of his friends. He again gave me that smile, exited the side door, because he knew he had been caught again, and back to work he went. One day in April, BCC had a spring fling in the quad. We all ate hamburgers and hot dogs, potato salad, and chips. We made tie-dyed shirts and sat in line to get our caricatures drawn. Michael asked to be drawn as a soldier. I can still see that drawing in my head. He was determined to serve this country, and that was his future. I have relived many senior years with my students, and I am proud when I see them walk across the jury stage. The beauty of Facebook is when students graduate, they become your friends, and I am friends with all of my Positive Options students. I know how successful they have become. In 1990, when I graduated from high school, my parents told me that being successful meant you had to go to college, but boy, were they wrong. You can go to college, but you can also enter the workforce and make a living for yourself, become the best parent you can be, or you can enter the military. Michael chose the latter. I was not happy about this, and I was scared. I even told my husband, and this is a quote, that if I ever helped a student graduate from Drury High School and they passed away with honor fighting for this country overseas, I may give up teaching. Unfortunately, that fear became a reality one day in August of 2012. I was in Savoy with a group of teachers and students as we celebrated our end of summer program. It was a blessing that I didn't have cell phone service, but when we got back to Drury, my husband, who had heard the news, was waiting for me there. I feel bad for the former teacher that nonchalantly asked me if I heard what happened. A young man from this great city died in Afghanistan, and I knew right away it was my Michael. I spent the next week questioning my career. I didn't want September to come. But Lisa told me that I had helped a young boy become a man that wanted to defend this country at all costs. With my history background, I knew what that meant. I made a difference, and I helped Michael make a difference too, even though it hurt. So Michael, as you look down on this dedication today, please know that I miss our talks when I saw your green dot on Facebook. I know you are doing well, and I hope that you know that this city is proud of everything that you have done, because you know I am. Thank you, everybody, and God bless.
Thank you, Melanie. I'd like to read a letter now from our good Senator Elizabeth Warren, who very much wished she could be here today. She says, "Dear friends, I wish I could be with you in person as you come together to dedicate the old North Adams Armory building in honor the life of Specialist Michael demarisco. As our nation celebrates Veterans Day, we honor America's men and women in uniform who made the ultimate sacrifice by remembering their bravery, by doing right by their families they left behind, and by doing our best for their fellow service members when they arrive home. We owe everyone in the armed services a true debt of gratitude. To the demarisco family, and the entire North Adams community, thank you for doing your part to honor our service members, veterans, and their families on this day. We have, at the time of Michael's, additionally I should say, the Senator sent the family a flag that is flown over the U.S. Capitol building. And at the time of Michael's death, the Army assigned Sergeant Kenneth Sheehan to the demarisco family. Sarge, as everyone came to know him, spent weeks with the family, helping them in so many ways. And Sarge, could you please come up and present this flag to the family? Thank you, Sergeant. We are honored today to have with us our good friend and our representative in the United States Congress, Mr. Richie Neal.
Sir, thank you. Melanie, that was terrific. And one of the things that we might state on an occasion like this, when we ask about remembrances, we all remember the great teacher that we had, those great teachers along the line. That was really well done. Reverend Anderson and Mr. Mayor, Mr. Alcombright, a word of thanks to you for your good service through all of these years. You were terrific to work with, and I want to acknowledge again, as I did a bit earlier, Mayor-elect Bernard was here, and also my friend John Barrett and Senator Hines that are with us as well. I think at occasions like this, we're reminded of not just sacrifice, but here on Veterans Day, as we rename this armory in memory of Michael demarisco, of what the sacrifice means, as Lincoln noted, in those who would bear the responsibility of the battle. And it's not really much different than what Lincoln stated at Gettysburg when he said, "We'll quickly forget what people said here, but we'll long remember what people did here." And I think that's the special memory we have today. We also might consider that in the aftermath of Afghanistan, it is now the longest standing military conflict in the history of America, on to the 16th year. And it's people like Michael demarisco who have served us with great distinction and great honor, and whose memory we honor and cherish today. But there's another part of Veterans Day, whether it was in Concord or Fallujah or on to Afghanistan, it again is the special sacrifice that so many have made to ensure those basic liberties and freedoms that the rest of us enjoy. How precious is that First Amendment, which guarantees a second opinion? And it guarantees a second opinion because of those men and women who, as Lincoln again noted, were responsible for bearing the battle. And not to miss that today as we name this building, because for many of us, our lives will move on. For members of the demarisco family, every time they walk by or drive by, it's going to instill another very pleasant memory from the commitment that was made. But on this Veterans Day, let us remember something else. And that is the contract that we offered to these men and women when they left, and to honor it when they come home. That's an important part of our responsibility, collectively and individually. Not the pat on the back when they go, but it's the acknowledgement when they return. Outside of my office in Washington, I fly the MIA flag next to the American flag and the state flag. We also might pause on this day to remember the following. There still are 90,000 plus men and women who have never been accounted for from the military commitments that we've made across the world. So I hope that we're within the realm of finding, because of DNA evidence everywhere, where they might finally rest. We know where Michael rests. And we know in a community like North Adams today, this is a great tribute to all of you that would show on this occasion, because it proves that North Adams has a memory. Thank you from the United States of America.
Thank you, Congressman Neal. We're also very pleased to have with us today our good state senator, Adam Hines.
Thank you, Mayor. It is so important that you're all here today. It's important that we're here because, quite frankly, Iraq and Afghanistan, they're this generation's war. They're my generation's war. I lost one of my best friends in Afghanistan not long before Michael was there. And I was in Iraq as a civilian, and I'll never forget a moment when we were about to go in, and we had an Australian telling us, okay, here's what's going to happen when you get in the green zone, and we're part of a coalition, and here's how you're going to differentiate one country from the next. The Australians have this type of camouflage, and you'll notice that flag and these weapons, and the Brits have this camouflage. And then it was time to discuss the Americans. He said, you'll know the Americans because their uniform's going to be crisper, they're going to be stronger, they're going to be bigger, and they're just they have more courage, and you're going to know it right away when you see it. And that was Michael. And that's the courage that it's this generation's opportunity to display. It's our generation's time to step up and serve. And that's what Michael did for every single one of you. And it's also this generation's time to make sure that we honor that, not only for what this generation has been doing, but for all generations of veterans. And that's why this dedication is so critical. So thank you all for being here, and it is an honor to be a part of this today.
Thank you, Senator Hines. And now I'd like to welcome up our former mayor and our newly elected state representative, John Barrett III.
Thank you. Michael, Lisa, you did something very important too. You should receive a lot of credit for it. You raised a good boy. And that says a lot about you and where you're standing in this community. You know, almost 50 years ago, just down the road, we have a skating rink named for Peter Flip. Peter was part of my generation. We were teammates in the baseball field. He played football. He was great. He was a hero in every sense of the word. He tried to save a young man in battle one day in Vietnam, and as he pulled that soldier away, he was killed. The remarkable resemblance to what happened with Michael demarisco and his journey to a foreign land is much the same. He loved baseball, he loved football, he was a good athlete, he loved his high school, he loved his community, he served his community well. But now we honor him today by dedicating this site to his memory. And less than a mile down the road, the war hero out of my generation, Pete Foot, is also remembered. And we can't forget those individuals. And the reason why we are here today, too, is that the veterans of this community said we have to save this building. Not for the youth center, not for the basketball court, but because of the memory of the Company K and the people who served our country in World War II, and those veterans. And that's what it's all about. Life goes on, but we can't forget those who have served us so well. And yes, they made the ultimate sacrifice, but so did their families. And I'll never forget that day in August when Michael's body was returned to this city, his final return here. And the thousands and thousands of people that lined Route 2, people from all walks of life and all ages, as they greeted this young man back home again for the last time. It was a sad day in the city, but it also remembered and told us what life is all about and the ultimate sacrifice. So we're proud, very proud community. We're proud of those who have gone before us on the battlefield, and we can never forget. So Lisa and Mike, be proud today that you produced a son. The city of North Adams is proud to say he was one of ours. And may God be with you for the rest of your days. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Barrett. I haven't seen him, but is Bennett Walsh here from the Soldiers Home? Okay, I haven't seen him. Bennett Walsh was to bring us the best wishes and the good wishes of Secretary Francisco Urena of the Department of Veterans Services. But the Secretary, I did speak with him, and he was very sorry he could not make today's ceremony. But wishes all of us well. Now, for the moment we're kind of all here for, so to speak, I'd like to ask, I don't know how the heck we're going to do this, but if the family could move over towards the stone. And if folks could just kind of, the streets are closed, so don't worry, you won't get hit. Stay in the streets, follow folks over to the stone. If you guys could go over towards the stone, because we're going to actually unveil the stone.
I'll hold it. Why?
I just want to read this very quickly. This is the dedication on the stone that was written by the family. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. John 15:13. After graduating from Drury High School in 2010, Michael followed his lifelong dream and joined the United States Army in 2011. Upon completion of Infantry Man 1 training at Fort Benning, Georgia, he was assigned to the 1st Battalion, 23rd Infantry Regiment, 3rd Stryker Brigade Combat Team at Joint Base Lewis McChord in the state of Washington. Proudly serving during Operation Enduring Freedom, Michael was deployed to Peshawar, Afghanistan in February 2012. A born leader with the eyes of an eagle and the heart of a lion, he understood the risks involved, but took the lead role of point man walking ahead of his brothers in arms to search for improvised explosive devices. His motivation was to ensure they would return safely to their families. Michael was killed in action on August 16, 2012. He was awarded the Bronze Medal, the Purple Heart, Army Commendation Medal, Army Good Conduct Medal, National Defense Service Medal, Afghanistan Campaign Medal with the Bronze Service Star, the Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, Army Service Ribbon, Overseas Service Ribbon, NATO Medal, Combat Infantry Badge, Combat Special Skills Badge for Marksmanship, and Overseas Service Badge. A wonderful legacy, a wonderful remembrance of who he was. And I would now ask Lisa and Mike and the family to take the covering off of the stone and officially dedicate this site to their son, Specialist Michael R. demarisco II. much for being here. Thank you to our guests. Thank you again to our great jury band for hanging in there with us.